We're getting to the speaker section of the protest now. So I'd like to introduce some of the speakers before we do a couple chants. Also remember that there's pictures of the chain cards, so please keep some of those. But right now our first speaker is going to be Micaiah, and she is a student at Washington, and she's going to kind of be speaking on her experience and why she wants SROs out of GW. So give a hand for her.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Micaiah CC. I'm a senior at Washington. I'm the president of BSA. The Blacks and the Lions of Washington. And I just want to speak on my standpoint of why I think SROs need to leave Washington. So, I'm going to start by saying, I'm only just a student at Washington. I'm not a community member. I've only experienced the police in school. No major effects out school, but I have my reason of why I want them out of school. So my first reason being is that we have security guards. There is no reason to have officers in the school if we have security guards. On the daily, Washington has about 7 on-duty security guards. They are pretty good at their job too. I've never really seen a police officer come stop any fight at Washington. Either teachers or security guards. And our community members and students also. There's no reason to have the officers in the school if we have people already doing the job that officers are doing. Second most, we have things like we come to school every day and we go through the metal detector. There's no reason to have officers in the school if they are not going to do search and patrols on students. Their presence is irrelevant. They don't really make any difference in the school. I'm trying to think.
You got it, girl.
Got it.
Also, okay if I come back? Is it okay if I come back?
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay, thank you, Micaiah. Give it up for Micaiah again. Okay, now we're going to have another speaker. She's an alumni of George Washington. We're going to have Jessica come up here and kind of speak on her experience and also why she wants SRO. So give it up for Jessica. Hello, everyone. So I'm going to be writing a poem. I'm going to be reading a poem. If y'all remember back in the day, I just do best in poetry. So here I go. Offenses I've known since the 6th grade. Our freshman year got dragged away. I was painting in the hallway when I saw him in between the white cops. We locked eyes, and I remember all the times he talked about his big brother making him cry. I talked about hating home, how I ran away in school, but he said, but school can be cruel too. He talked about never feeling like he had a home since the day he was born. Teachers didn't like him, but they couldn't see he was a sweetie, only 13. Struggling to thrive and to succeed, but came from a rough house and family. They dragged him out of the classroom, walked him through our moldy hallway walls, the broken roof, the falling apart ceiling tiles. I never saw him again from the day the cops came and dragged him away. On graduation day, as I walked across stage, I thought, what if instead of the police handcuffs, he was giving a paintbrush? If the police hadn't rushed in and taken him away, I knew 100% he would have been here in a blue cap and gown in graduation day. Black and brown babies in the Southeast Side, in Illinois, and in the rest of the country deserve more opportunities to succeed without cops taking them out of schools
and dragging them into paddy wagons, into taking them to penitentiaries. We cannot normalize the violence by police, ignore the harm that they do to black and brown lives outside the classroom, and the fear of racial profiling they inflict in our school. Just look at the research and you'll see the mental and the physical harm and how they impact our students' ability to succeed. How about we use that money to invest in black and brown babies' futures, in our young leaders' dreams? Imagine the endless possibilities. If black and brown youth could grow and just be, imagine the skyrocket in number of college degrees, if we stop having field trips to penitentiaries, if we help them dream beyond the current realities. It's only thanks to my teachers who taught me to imagine better for me and my community. Yeah, thank you.
I think we need another round of applause for that one. That was. So our next speaker is going to be a teacher at George Washington. Her name is Miss Bianchi. So give it up for Miss Bianchi.
All right, thanks everybody for coming out here. Thanks for, let's get another round of applause for all of the Washington students. So I'm here speaking on behalf of all of the teachers and staff at Washington that stand with students fighting for a police-free school. I'm going to reference some of the data that many of you all have had the opportunity to read and discuss today. So yeah, I want to verbalize some of these things that people have beautifully also marked in chalk today. So I think it's really important that we point out that only 5% of the student population at Washington is black, and yet 41% of police notifications involving students involve black students. That is what racism in our school looks like, and that's totally unacceptable. Students with IEPs and learning disabilities make up about 17% of our student population, but 30% of police notifications involving students involve those students with IEPs. That's also totally unacceptable. Our most vulnerable students are being harmed by their interactions with SROs. So we're taught in the United States, and I say this as a history teacher, right? We grow up hearing that police are supposed to protect us and police are supposed to make our communities safe. In the last 2 months, the entire country, the entire world is reckoning with the fact that the people that are supposed to keep us safe in our community are actually harming and killing people, disproportionately black and brown people, right? So now is the time for us to have a conversation about what safety actually means and what safety looks like. Safety in a school means more counselors, means more social workers.
Yes. Yes.
It means a school curriculum that actually reflects our black and brown students' lived experiences. And empowering our students to become even more confident leaders in their community. So the last thing I'll just say, I'll speak personally, I'm a relatively new teacher, but nobody becomes a teacher to police students.
That's true.
Nobody becomes a teacher to punish our students or to treat young people like they're a problem to be solved. People become teachers so that they can support and uplift youth. And so that's why I'm here, and your teachers and the adults in this community stand with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Now what we do now? Are they still gonna try to speak? Yep. Y'all gonna blame this on me, right?
I wouldn't. He probably would.
I don't know, should we be on that side or on what? It's rain. I don't know which way this rain gonna go.
I think maybe they'll continue talking about the rain.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're gonna keep talking at the top. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously,
But we're still going because we never stop. So we're gonna have our next speaker, which is Mr. Davis. He is a teacher at Washington, and he's gonna speak on why he wants us to out of GW. So give it up for Mr. Davis.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is a powerful moment in history. I too teach history. I've been here at Washington for 6 years. I've been a teacher at CPS for 20 years, all in neighborhood schools. And I'll tell you that neighborhood schools typically don't get the resources that they deserve. And there's a lot of bias in how these schools are funded, especially since the majority black and brown schools, like our school is. And I think this is a movement now for us to fight for the funding that we deserve. And just a few things about the numbers. I mean, that really disturbs me. I mean, at the local level, at the national level, there's never any question about funding for the military, for the police, or for any other entity that is going to control people or use violence. But when it comes to being proactive, when getting schools that students deserve and the resources to schools, it's always a question, and those are the first things that are cut. And so that's why we need to fight, not just for our own school, our own city, but for our whole nation. Because we need to tell the powers that be that this is a priority. This needs to be a priority. $33 million for these SROs can go for so many things, as was mentioned, including our schools. Look behind me. You see all the construction that's happening? I mean, it took years for them to fix the roof. And we had to beg and plead for that funding. Literally go to the Board of Education and show them pictures for them to do something about it. When in the reality, other schools get brand new buildings. They get brand new buildings. And my daughter, my son, they go to a school that's 100 years old, but it's in much better condition than Washington is. And I think it doesn't end with this, that we need to push for a new building for this community, an athletic field for our championship soccer program. We want an auditorium that's state of the art. How about a gymnasium that can accommodate all our students when we want to have a pep rally? We can't do those things. And we've maintained a consistently high population. So, these are things we're fighting for now. Some other numbers here. $53 million per year over the past decade, the city of Chicago has paid out for police brutality. Imagine it. $500 million has been paid out because of police, to settle lawsuits about the police. This is unjust. That $500 million should have gone for so much for our schools. And so this is a reason we fight. Is to say that the funding needs to go for our schools because that's the future. That makes a big difference and deals with the challenges, the root causes of violence, including poverty. And so I think when I think about this fight, I think about how it is for our schools and that we don't need, like Micaiah said, we don't need those SROs. Our security guards do an awesome job of keeping us safe. And in 20 years, I never felt unsafe going to any school, neighborhood school that I've taught at. And so we need to show the powers that be that, they need to reprioritize education and defund the police. Not to mention, as was mentioned, these police officers are racist. They are racist. They target African Americans and Latin communities more than anything. And so, that isn't right. Yeah, that isn't right. That we need to know that the police are not there to protect people, but they're targeting people who don't deserve to be targeted. And that's not right. Yes, that's not right. So, I'll just end by saying that, we need to keep this fight up, even if we don't win the fight with our OSC. I'm hopeful that the city of Chicago will eventually come to a sense of fighting, and that they will get the SROs out of all the schools throughout the city, and that the money will go back to our schools.
You get closer if you want to.
Thank you all for being here and fighting this fight with us.
I think we listen to something here today. It may just win. I'm gonna have to go to the other side though.
we know the rain is getting a little harder, so
A little. I just need to cover my camera though.
we want everybody to kind of be dry.
What she say? Who's picking it up? You got it? You got it? Oh, I'm sorry, real quick. Baby! Y'all okay? Where the baby at? Where the baby? Good, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I gotta go on the other side.
Move it up! Move that part up!